Welcome to another edition of HeadMed Info, a program that tells you all about healthy living. And today is a special monthly interaction with the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, Kogi State Branch, only on Malachi TV. I am Joy Dada. And today we shall be discussing quackery in the health sector. What is quackery? Where and why do people indulge in practicing quackery? Its effects on mankind and society, even our economy. Quackery has been defined as the promotion of fraudulent or ignorant medical practices. A quack is a fraudulent pretender to medical skills or person who pretend professionally. A quack is a fraudulent pretender to medical skills or person who pretend professionally or publicly to have skill, knowledge, qualifications or credentials they do not possess. Before our guests will join us, let's go for a short break. Welcome back. In the studio with me to discuss more about quackery in practice are, by my right, Mr. Aaron Ayodele, a senior specialist consultant, also a microbiologist.
Good morning, viewers.
By my right, Mr. Peter Olondu, a molecular biologist. You are welcome, sir. By my far left, Mrs. Bolanle Oshadare, a chemical pathologist. You are welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Before we proceed, we shall like to know more about quackery in practice. Aaron, please can you tell us about quackery?
All right, thank you very much. Just a point of correction. First, I'm a medical scientist, and then I option in medical microbiology. I'm not a consultant yet. Thank you very much, but I appreciate that you are giving me that title so that it will spur me into greater responsibility. Yeah, back to the subject matter. Quackery is a very serious subject that society is supposed to come hard on. Unfortunately, in our own society, it is amazingly being de-emphasized. If you look at the dangers it portends on the practice, on patient care, I would believe and would have loved that it should be something that is re-echoed every now and then. But to just create a background and what quackery is, there are so many definitions, but they all center around fraudulent practices, unproven practices by charlatans. Some authority has developed a concept, and they say it's a form of charlatanism, whereby untrained hand, non-professionals engage in fraudulent medical practice. And in many cases, these fraudulent medical practice are usually devoid of what I call scientifically plausible rationality. And what that means is that their practice and their procedures and methods cannot be verified by any known scientific method. When you try to verify what they do, you discover that it will not be in line with best practices. So going by that, we know that they are not doing the right thing, and then we refer them to as quack. Let me quickly add that quackery also go beyond a non-professional or untrained hand. Under the laws of Nigeria, you can also have professional quackery, because in the health sector we have a lot of regulatory boards and councils: Medical Dental Council, Pharmaceutical Council, Nursing Council, Medical Laboratory Science Council. Anybody that is a member of these bodies who refuses to renew his license at the appointed date as enshrined in the law, from that point becomes a quack. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. Any other contribution?
Yeah, it is important to note that a quack render a services rendered by unauthorized person, untrained person, unlicensed person. It is such a service is quackery. And of course, these have a far-reaching implication, especially in our fledgling developing health system. Majorly is misdiagnosis, especially with the growing increasing threats of antibiotic failure. Quackery is something that every government, every institution must look into and ensure that it does not jeopardize the development we are having in our health system.
Mrs. Bolanle, can you tell us the signs to know that someone is practicing quackery in medical laboratory?
Yeah, the signs to detect that somebody is into quackery in medical laboratory services are not far-fetched. When you see somebody that is not qualified or is not trained or is not licensed to perform a certain procedure, the result is obvious. We see this in our day-to-day activities. In the laboratories where we work, we have quacks among us, and it's obvious from the procedures they carried out. In medical laboratory services, there's what we call standard operating procedure. In these standard operating procedures is a guideline that tells you detailed of how to carry out an analysis. But a quack will dare not adhere to it. He will want to deviate. He does not even have the knowledge of it. And when he is even handed the knowledge, as some will say, okay, just take them. You train them now, they will know. You know things that people don't take oath for. People that ab initio, that was not the main thing you went to school to learn. You just find yourself dabble into it in the midst of the day. So there is no how you can strictly adhere to the procedure. They lack also another sign is lack of practice of quality management system. In medical laboratory services, there is quality management system. Quack will not practice quality. All they want to just to carry out the procedure. If they are found in public sectors, like maybe in our hospitals, medical in the laboratories, how to just rush and do the diagnosis, and they don't care about quality. So they thereby, and with the quality we are talking about, it ranges from the personnel, skilled personnel, even to the procedure you use to carry out the test, down to how you manage the waste you generated at the end of the day. So when a quack is in action, you see a lot of anomalies, misdiagnoses, things, the result they generate, they are not accurate, the results are not reliable. You see the working environment looks shamble. It looks disgusting when you see them at work. Most time it's not. When you see a skilled person works and unskilled person works, or a quack at work, it's heartbreaking. The procedure right from the procedure to the result generated, it's not a welcoming idea at all.
Please, can you tell us the implication of practicing quackery in medical laboratories?
Oh, the implications of practicing medical laboratory quackery. There are a lot of implications. The implications cannot even be, all cannot be listed here. One of the implications is, just like I said earlier, is a wrong diagnosis. When somebody is misdiagnosed or wrongly diagnosed, the right treatment will not be administered. And if the right treatment is not administered, wellness is far-fetched. The person cannot get well. It increased morbidity. The disease condition increased or exacerbated. Also, when somebody is another implication to the patient and the community at large is patient it can even lead to death because the person is not properly managed. There's waste of time. There's waste of resources. Because every effort put in place to get the person well is abortive, because a wrong, maybe wrong sample, wrong person, wrong result has been generated, and it will lead to a wrong drug, and so the person just keep there, is not getting well. Another risk is not even to an individual, the implication of quackery in our health sectors. If a quackery is practicing, it can lead to the destruction of the whole entire community, or a country. It can be severely endangered. For example, a case of epidemics. If somebody is not trained how to carry out a certain thing and is put in the place to manage it, maybe to investigate the cause of an occurrence, and he now gave a wrong result, tell me what will happen. The whole community, before, maybe if a case of cholera is what is happening now. If somebody supposed to diagnose cholera, is there, they are telling you it's a typhoid. You can see before Jack Robinson, the whole community will be captured, and we are talking about life. So the implications are so many. There are so many. Another implication is when a quack is practicing in the lab, it leads to waste, maybe burdens to the health sector. The health sector is not appreciated. There's a lot of things that you are supposed, as an individual, as a patient, you come to the hospital, you want to be well, you have the desire to get well, but the result you are getting is not helping matter. So the consequences or the implications are numerous, and some of my colleagues will add to it.
The implications are terrible, and that is why I said in the beginning that I'm amazed that government is not giving the needed attention to quackery. Now, let me just give you an example. I interfaced with a patient many years ago who came in for hemoglobin genotype.
Okay.
And the young man was preparing to get married. So the wife, the intended wife, is AS. Okay. Now he went to a particular mushroom laboratory and they gave him AA. So that gave him the confidence that, oh, things will work normally. And in fact, when I interacted with him, obviously he has even gone ahead to impregnate the lady. But by the time he came to our laboratory, the young man was AS. So I didn't stop at that. I now took the blood sample and they went to 2 other of my colleagues that operate different facilities. Both of them came back with AS. So what has happened to that young man? If at the end of the day, God forbid, the baby comes out and becomes a sickler, then you have created a serious psychological trauma to the life of those couple, and it is capable of destroying their marriage. No matter how they are professing love to each other, by the time sickle cell comes on board, the thing will start depreciating. Now, and when these things happen at health facility level, it also have a way of taking now the confidence, public confidence on facility. Because they'll come and say, these people, if you go here, they will say it's AS. These people, you go, they say it's AA. So they rather just, you will see apathy. People become discouraged, and at times, that makes them to even fall prey into the hands of these unqualified people. So it has a way of killing confidence. We had somebody in this country before, a renowned lawyer, that was diagnosed of pneumonia in Nigeria. And when he traveled abroad, we learned it was celiac cancer. He died. These are the terrible implications that quackery can offer in the medical laboratory, not just in the medical laboratory, in the medical practice generally. So everybody should be talking of it, not just the laboratory.
Do you think it's lack of finance that is making some patients to fall into wrong hands? Yeah,
it's an economic implication. You see, you can categorize it into socio-economic factors. Yes, and the economic status of the patient is an important factor, right? And when you talk of economic status, government also have a role to play. That is why I'm aware that one of the mission of the Federal Ministry of Health is to make healthcare available that is accessible and affordable, right? So when the government facilities become inaccessible or unaffordable, the lower class, the poor man there, will not have option than to patronize a similarly cheaper, system that will offer him a service at that point. Unfortunately, that cheaper option may be at the territory of a quack, because a quack, like my sister said, does not have quality in mind. His goal is to prey on the patient and get money, and so it doesn't matter. He can bring down his price to attract customers, and he's bringing down the price because he knows he's not going to spend much to get a result. Quality is not cheap. Quality is expensive, right? So he will be motivated to reducing his own cost, because after all, he may not even carry out the test. It's as terrible as that. People pick samples now. They will just pick sample and write results.
They just forge.
So if he's not giving in anything, if he's not spending anything, okay, then so when you see something that is too cheap, you have to look at it. It may be devoid of quality.
We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back.
It's not new again to say health is wealth. We all know that's true, but do you know when to check your health status? Do you care to learn about living healthy and bright? What to turn to when you're feeling not quite right? Join Health Med Info for answers and insights to keep you in prime time on YouTube channel, Malachi TV, Facebook pages, MLC TV, MLC TV2, Instagram, MLC TV 2021, X under Malachi TV, and TikTok, Malachite_TV. Don't miss this valuable info on your way to help you live your best life every single day.
Welcome back. To my viewers out there, I hope you have been really engaging yourself and know more about what quackery is. Mr. Peter, please can you tell us how to identify a fake lab scientist?
Most of the time when patients are going through challenges, especially sicknesses that devoid the normal visiting to pharmacy, and they seem desperate and they really want to know what is the issue is. And so, just like my colleagues have said, when we make government facility is inaccessible, expensive, now quack or just a roadside lab may be an alternative for these patients. So it is important for patients to know what to look out for. Now it is important for us to know that a quack ordinarily is a fraud. He is just interested in maximizing gain, just getting money. And most time they play on the psychology of patients, in the sense that they know what patients want to hear. Everybody wants to hear positive news. And so most time, a quack will just interest you, knows how to maximize that your psychology and give you the kind of information you want to hear, which may not necessarily be the valid information. Now for you to enjoy good health, you need a valid and true state of your health, which may be positive or negative. Okay? Again, every trained scientist or professional are licensed. We said they are appropriately trained, authorized by Amlsn. And so, the license, the annual licensing is not just for you to hide, for them to hide in their boxes. No. So when you enter a lab, you should look out for a conspicuously displayed license within the facility. Any facility you enter where you can't see anything that seems to be official, authorization from the council, authorization from State Ministry of Health, such a facility is a facility you should be careful of. Again, when probably you are being offered a test at a relatively cheap price, ridiculously cheap price, you should know. And in this age of ICT, I know you say not everybody that knows how to go around their way, but in this age of ICT, there are background check even patients or somebody who is looking for services can look out for. I mean, you can check online to know, okay, what to even expect from this person and from this laboratory. And again, it is important that sometimes you do what we call a second, you can still say, look out, I mean, after visiting a particular laboratory, nothing stops you from visiting a more standardized laboratory, which again eventually like government institutions laboratory. It is important that you always check the test of result you have been given in any laboratory.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. But aside financial status, is there still anything that will make patients to be patronizing Quackery?
Yeah, and again, like we said, quick accessibility. There are sometimes you come across laboratory being situated in areas that are not supposed to even be in the first place. And so, when you see laboratory, and I think that's even an important, again, thing to look out for. When you see laboratory located in a place where health institutions should not even be in the first place. Now, you have slums, and in these slums, you see laboratory in one small room there. It is, I mean, a red flag. It is a red flag. And so, when the laboratories push out themselves among the people, ordinarily, this is where the Ministry of Health comes in. Normally, such facilities should not be allowed to be located anyhow. But because they are located in these places where they are easily accessible to these people, of course, it makes it the first call for them. Yeah.
Okay, let me just add one very important. An underdeveloped health system is going to attract this. I'll give you an example. I'm a field officer. Sometimes ago I was in Ipaji local government and we were carrying out a survey, and they told us that most of their women usually die of labor. Okay? When you immediately you leave Onyedega, which is the headquarters, and you start entering inside, you won't see a single health facility. And at times you travel, like there's some part of Ibaji from Onyedega that you travel 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. And so a whole local government, no presence of any health facility. Now, a quack can take advantage of that. If somebody just go to that place and establish a facility there, he becomes the lord of the ring. He'll be doing the wrong thing and he will be the champion. Why? Because there is no government presence. So outside that, we need to really do a lot to ensure that we bring health facility at the doorstep of our people. Even outside Ibaji, you go to like in Kogi East, I live in Ida. In Ida we have zonal, we used to call it zonal hospital. At the point you say it's specialist hospital, we don't know what it is exactly. We don't know the detail of health system that is actually operating. But when you from Ida to Anyingba, if you travel from Ida to Anyingba, you won't see any other serious health facility. So you need to travel 1 hour. Now imagine somebody that suffered road traffic accident. You need to transport the person for another 1 hour. He will die on the road. So these are the issues. We really need government to intervene if we must step or stamp on Quackery.
Thank you very much, sir. Ma, do you have any contribution to that?
Yeah, Jen, let me just quickly add this point. Ignorance is also a very vital point to the thrivings of Quackery and making people also patronizing them. People don't actually, some of the quacks actually don't even know the implications of what they are doing, just in bit to get money. And the people that patronize them as well, because they don't know, they fall prey. So many of our community people need to be aware and run away from quack. At all costs, let them seek to get the best health system, health care Some of them prefer other things, flavorous things to health standards. You hear some of them, they even have the availability, because there's sometimes I work in a facility where they will tell you, oh, coming to the hospital is expensive because they will give you water, give you this. Not knowing that the water they are giving them is not just water, it's drugs in form of IVs. But they say they will give you water, they will only give you water when you go to general hospital. They will give you water, they will give you water, you just be loading you with water. That is better they go to chemist, where they will give you something to swallow. You can imagine at the community-based level, people are still ignorant of their health. And some people will come to hospital, even some of the health workers also, they are ignorant to tell them that, okay, you need to carry out a procedure for you to get the right thing, the right diagnosis. While some of the health workers will be discouraging them that you don't need this. Some will insist. Some people that are well learned, they will tell you, we need to know the diagnosis. We want to know what is wrong with us. You can see the dilemma. So people need to be aware, and that is the reason, one of the reasons why we are here now. We want the people to be aware of the right thing to do, to come out of ignorance. Now, many Nigerians, we still operate at the level of ignorance. I'm sorry to say, serious. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Mr. Aaron, how can your association verify the credentials or certificate of qualified lab technicians?
Okay. Well, our association, we are not really primarily an organization that is started with responsibility to actually verify credentials. But we have a council in place that has been set up by government, federal government, Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. It's a council that was established by an act of parliament. And one of their responsibilities is to register medical lab scientists, medical lab technicians, and medical lab assistants. So every practitioner of medical laboratory service in Nigeria is registered with the council and with an identity, right? With an identity. As we are here now, we all have our various number code that is inscribed in our practicing license. So that is why when he was talking about testing your license for private, facility, is one of the ways you can use to verify somebody. He also talked about technology. Now, if you see a practitioner license in medical laboratory today, you can pick the number. We call it array number. You can pick it from the license and verify from the council. So if you send it to council and it's not in the council database, you will be sure that that person is not a registered member of the profession. That applies with private. Now coming to public health institutions, our association over the years, we have always clamored for the establishment of Directorate of Medical Lab Service in the State Ministry of Health. We thank God for the government of Governor Yaya Bello. Let me quickly use this method to appreciate him, that finally he was able to grant that approval. And one of the responsibility of that office is that every medical lab scientist that is employed in this state must pass through him during the panel, during interview. So he, by virtue of his position, is a member of the panel. We don't have that privilege in those days. So somebody just sits in a panel, he's not a practitioner of medical laboratory, and he's interviewing people that they want to push into the laboratory. He doesn't have what it takes to identify. So, but because he is a member of the profession and a director at that, he knows what to look out for. Because we are just saying licensing, there are different types of license, right? It doesn't just end at license. License by Medical Lab Science Council of Nigeria. We have a driver's license now, right? And we have other institutions, sister bodies also, that have license. But the one we are talking about, as long as Medical Lab is concerned, is the one that is licensed by Medical Lab Science Council of Nigeria. So the director in his position knows what to look out for when he sees such license. And so even in that corporate body that is being projected by government, he can say, you are not an authentic member of this profession. And from there, you can stamp it out. So public, private, we have all it takes. And as an association too, if we move around and we enter your laboratory, we discover that you are not one of us, we can also report back to the council we can report back to the State Ministry of Health, because the Ministry of Health also have a role to play, not just the council alone. You know, health is under concurrent list. Okay, state can legislate, federal can legislate. So the state government also, we can report, we can actually even report to police. Yes, it can get to that level. You can actually even report to police, and the police will go to such facility and get the person arrested.
Thank you very much, sir.
Can I just quickly add to what my comrade has said? That as an association, the power to be able to fish out the right people, the qualified people, we're not saddled with. But in our own end, as Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, Kogi State Branch, there's what we have. We have an association that has the database of every member, of even the other cadre, the technicians. They also have their own association that capture every member that works in a particular state, both at the state and federal institution, all captured there with their database, and which is being updated from time to time. So with this, we can identify people that are really members of this profession and quacks among us. And also we can, when we see them, we can say something, we can do something, just like he has said. Thank you very much.
To our audience, we shall continue this discussion next week on this same channel. Thank you, and do ensure to watch to report any quackery around you. Thank you, and see you next week.